I'm putting $10,000 on the line to see if my crypto AI model can turn that $10,000 into $100,000. It sets my stop losses, it picks where I take profits, and it tells me when to buy and when to sell. And I'm trading this all on leverage. This might sound incredibly dumb, and honestly, it might be it might be incredibly dumb, but this is a part of my process to refine my Bitcoin 2-week prediction model into an absolute Bitcoin predicting machine. I genuinely believe that I built something special, that I'm onto something, and now I'm putting some skin in the game. I'm putting my money where my mouth is when it comes to this 14-day prediction model. I'll also be diving into the results from my last 14-day Bitcoin prediction that I shared. My model predicted that Bitcoin would surge to new all-time highs within 14 days. Bitcoin made its move, and my model ended up being correct. In this video, I'm going to reveal exactly what happened, why the model was early, and what the model is predicting next. Okay, a little over 2 weeks ago, I put out a video talking about my Bitcoin prediction model and specifically referencing the prediction that it had made, which was that Bitcoin would hit a new all-time high around $117,000 in the next 2 weeks by May 30th. And this is actually a still from the video to show you exactly what it was saying. At the time, Bitcoin's price was $103,000. And in order for Bitcoin to hit within its zone of average error, which I'll talk about that in a second, it meant that Bitcoin's price had to break through all-time high prices, which is typically a pretty daunting task for Bitcoin because typically the all-time high price is a pretty strong zone of resistance. So for me, I actually struggled to even put out the prediction because it seemed more likely to fail than not because it just seemed really hard. It's really hard to break through all-time highs. And I felt like I was really going out on a limb saying that Bitcoin was going to do this, but that's what the model said, and I trusted the data the model was using to back up its prediction, so I went ahead and threw it out there. And I just mentioned the average error of the model, and I talked about that in the video as well, but I want to highlight it here again. On average, this model is off by around $5,900. So it can be off by $5,900 in either direction. I just rounded up to $6,000 to make it simple. And it basically means that if the model is predicting 117,000, it could be off by $6,000 in either direction. So there's a possibility that Bitcoin could go as high as 123,000. And there's a possibility that Bitcoin could only hit as low as 111,000. If Bitcoin's price in that 14-day period hits anywhere within that zone, if it hits around 111,000 all the way up to 123,000, the model is performing as expected and that prediction is considered accurate. Now, the prediction was made on May 16th, again, when the price of Bitcoin was around $103,000. And we can see that over the next 14 days, the model was correct and the price of Bitcoin went as high as $112,000. On this chart, it's showing 111,900. On some other charts, it shows 112. You could say 111, you could say 112. Either way, it fell within the median average error of the model. Again, it could be off by $6,000 in either direction, meaning it could hit 111,000 all the way up to 123,000. And the Bitcoin price hit around 112,000, which is within that zone of error. However, there were a lot of people that maybe only saw the title of the video, which says this AI predicts Bitcoin hits $117,000 in 14 days. And they said, oh my gosh, that model was wrong because, it didn't hit 117,000, or it was wrong because it didn't hit $117,000 on exactly May 30th. As I just pointed out, and as I talked about in the video, that model is meant to be more of a temperature gauge of what Bitcoin is going to do next, not an exact wizard's prophecy level prediction for the price of Bitcoin on a specific day. In order to get the prediction that precise, to lock it in on the exact day, you'd have to have literally perfect data. You got to realize that on any given day, if Trump tweets the wrong way, or one little news story goes viral, Bitcoin can swing pretty wildly in terms of price. So the amount of noise you get day to day is actually pretty large. And the ability to perfectly time a prediction to an exact day is really, really stupidly near impossible. And seeing that I am no wizard, the best that I can personally do is what I'm doing currently with this model, which means you're going to get a $6,000 average error zone on either side of the price. And it's not going to be on an exact date, but it's going to be during that 14-day period. So for all the haters in the comments who are expecting God tier level accuracy with this model. I don't know what to tell you. I am not capable of that, but the model did fulfill what it set out to do. It was perfectly accurate within its zone of average error. We did break through all-time highs in Bitcoin's price. We did experience a big move up from 103 all the way to 112. And I was extremely happy with the outcome. This is 2 for 2 as far as these models go. I have my 60-day model, which I ran, I did a video on in the past. And that one during its first run over 60 days was also accurate. It actually was God tier level accuracy where it did hit the exact price on the exact day. That was just a stupid amount of luck. But the big takeaway was the general trend, direction, etc. was on point with that model as well. But despite the models doing really well so far, I want to see them do even better. I want these models to be absolute. I kind of do want them to be like wizard level accurate. I know that's not possible, but I want to get as close as I can to that. I want to push the like upper bounds. Like I'm obsessed with this. I actually think that I could build something incredible, especially with the advent of AI and all these amazing tools that AI is unlocking. I really think something insane is possible over the next couple of years because technology and all of this is changing so fast. I really think I could build something absolutely unhinged, and I'm going to try. I am going to try. So what I'm doing is I'm taking $10,000 of my own money, and I am leverage trading with it using the signals from this model. I know that sounds stupid, and honestly, it probably is stupid. This is probably dumb, but I like to put my feet to the fire. I want to feel the flames. I want to feel the pressure because that's how I perform best. So, maybe I lose money. Maybe, this sucks. Maybe this is a horrible disaster. But if I do, I swear, I will turn that loss into the biggest win physically possible because that's how I'm wired. The more you kind of shut me down and like break me, the better I perform, okay? I don't know why. Something screwed up in my brain. But the more I get beat down, the like happier I am to absolutely dominate my goals. So I need a little bit of beat down. So I'm putting 10K. I'm leverage trading it using this model. Anyways, I put $10,644 into Hyperliquid a few days ago. And actually, I did end up making one critical mistake when I initially did this. Because I'm trying to improve this model, I'm always trying to kind of expand it and push it to its limits. I ended up kind of porting the model from where I had it to like this new platform that I'm using to kind of further expand the model. But I made a fatal mistake. There were some bugs in the way that the data was being handled that made it so the prediction was not accurate. But I didn't know that at the time. It spat out a prediction that said it was go time. It said, hey, throw that money into leverage it up, baby. And so I did it. I put the money in, I leveraged it up, and I didn't catch the error until like an hour later. And by that time, Bitcoin's price had dropped quite a bit. And so I kind of like freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, I just leveraged up based off a false prediction. At the time, I didn't know, maybe if there was other bugs because I ported it over, and I wanted to give it a couple days to kind of like really go through the model and really like stupidly make sure that everything was accurate. So I ended up closing out my position at a $2,700 loss. So now after paying fees and all that kind of stuff, I have $7,800 left to basically start this experiment because I made a stupid mistake at the start of it. And I could have technically just hid that mistake and just started off at $10,000 pretending like, everything was good, but I did make that mistake. And you know what? I don't want to make that mistake again. So I need a little bit of punishment. I need to document it in this video. Anyways, I ended up working on the model literally nonstop. I worked on it till like midnight that night. I worked on it all day Saturday from morning till midnight that night. And then I worked on it most of the day Sunday. I made about halfway through Sunday, and then I ended up calling it quits. My eyes were like super bloodshot. I ended up getting some of the red eye drops because I looked like a psychopath when I went to record this video. But now the model is up to spec. There are no bugs. This thing is fully audited, and I've actually improved it so that the average error rate is actually quite a bit smaller now. And now I'm actually running a prediction every single day. And when I get that prediction, I run it into a second model that tells me what to do with my leverage trade. Do I, raise the stop? Do I change my take profit? Do I close position? And I'm literally just listening to what this thing tells me to do. And the first prediction it ran on Sunday when I finished up the model was this. The base price was 104,000. That's where I was starting for. It was saying we're in a choppy but calm market regimen. And it was saying the most likely close price in 14 days was around $111,000, but that there is a decent probability that we go as high as $123,000. Not that we'll settle there, but that we could wick up there. We could like experience a little bit of a run up to 123 before we retrace or something like that. And as far as this prediction goes, the model feels a high amount of confidence. Basically, based on past setups that were similar, the price tends to do one thing about 74% of the time. About 74% of the time, it does the thing that the model expects, meaning it's pretty confident that it's got this prediction at least somewhat right. And the way that median price works is the model runs a bunch of different simulations, and it sees a lot of different possible outcomes for where Bitcoin's price could land. The median of all those outcomes is the price it ends up spitting out, and in this case, that's 111,000. And on average, it's off in its prediction by around 3.6%. Meaning over the next 14 days on average, if Bitcoin's price kind of lands out between $107,000 and $115,000, the model will be considered correct. The max close works exactly the same way. The model tries to predict, what's the highest point Bitcoin's price will be over the next 14 days. It looks at a lot of possible futures, and then the average, like the median of all that, is the number it spits out. Meaning if the high is anywhere between 120,000 and 127,000, then technically the model is correct. And because I'm running the prediction daily, I reran the prediction today again with fresh data, and this is what it spit out. The median close price ticked up about $1,000 to 112,000. And the peak close price also ticked up to around 124,000. Its reasoning for making this prediction is stablecoin flows are up, dollar strength is weakening, and liquidity is increasing. I ended up yesterday on Sunday opening a levered position. I did do 10x leverage, but I have a really strict stop loss. I think I put it at like 96 or 97,000. And then I put a take profit at around 111,000. Even though the model is saying that there's a chance we go as high as 120,000, I want to be a little bit careful. I want to take my profits early. I just want to get back above $10,000. And then from there, I'll probably reduce my leverage amount a little bit and then just keep following, whenever the model gives me a go signal. And for anyone who wants to be able to follow along on these predictions in real time, I am sharing pretty much every day the predictions from the model in the Obsidian Council. Right now, currently at the time of publishing this video, it may or may not be open. It is open at the time of me recording this video. If you see a link in the description for the waitlist, then it's closed. If you see a sign up link for the Obsidian Council, then it's open. If it's closed, you can sign up for the waitlist in the description of this video and jump in next time it opens back up. Of course, again, I do really want to stress that these predictions are not perfect. They are wrong sometimes, especially on extreme moves or like news or like big announcements. They're not going to be correct, which means as I'm doing, my leverage trading, I have to take a tactical and strategic approach as I'm trading, expecting that sometimes the model is going to be wrong. There's going to be a time where it's going to be like, oh, we're going to 130,000, and then the model, maybe price drops down to 90,000. I'm like, what the heck? But that's normal. Like there is no perfect model that can predict everything. I'm just aiming for the highest amount of prediction accuracy that I can get. Right now, this thing is a lot more accurate than it's not. It's going to be right a lot more times than it's wrong. As always, none of this is investment advice. None of this is me telling you to do anything with your money. I am obviously not your financial advisor, and you should always do your own research. If this video is helpful, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this and you want to see future updates on, what I'm doing with this $10,000 and how it works out, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it to be notified each time I release a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.